Hey guys, welcome to the video. Today we're going to talk about 3 questions I asked myself when I wanted to learn how to code, and I think this will be beneficial for you. Stay tuned for the last one because it's a more important one. Alright, let's go. Alright, the first question I asked myself was, do I like being in the dark? Being in the street, especially if you choose self-taught, like I did, you're not going to have somebody above you to ask questions all the time, right? You may have a buddy in the internet, you may have a buddy on Twitter, you may have a far friend from a friend who does this for a living, and like you're not gonna have access to them all the time. So it's on your own terms to find the solutions of your problems that you're facing, especially if you're self-taught, right? So this is very important to know. Like if you like being in the dark, if you like not knowing what to do and you're super confident you can figure it out, maybe programming is for you, right? So just think about that possibility. And if you don't like being in the dark, you like having a little bit of help here and there, maybe go to college, which I don't recommend, or choose like a boot camp, somebody that can be there when you have questions, who can help you, right? Also, once you get a job, you're also going to be in the dark, right? And you have to show that you can figure things on your own. Do is bother your mentor in a sense for advice, if that makes sense. Like you can ask him questions, but if you're asking the same question 1, 2, 3 times, then it becomes a problem, right? So you don't want to portray that type of you don't want to portray that you're that type of person to them, right? So that's what you need to understand, and you need to learn how to be in the dark, how to Google yourself, how to search for yourself, how to think through the problem and be confident that you're going to solve it yourself. Number 2, the second question I ask myself, what do I like doing, right? Because there's a lot of branches in programming, right? A lot of things you can self-taught, you can teach yourself. There's cybersecurity, right? There is programming with C#, programming with the mean stack, with the merge stack, with the MIV stack, I think it is. There's a lot of avenues you can take. So the question I ask myself, what do I like doing? What do I see myself doing? At least for my first job, right? Okay, so I liked building websites. Okay, I like building SaaS products. Like if you know what a SaaS is, I would love to build something like that in the future. Okay, so then my avenue was either HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and a framework like a library. Like Vue, React, or a framework like Angular, or maybe the other route, which is a little bit harder, is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, C#, and the .NET framework from Microsoft, right? So there's those 2 avenues you can take, and then you can pick one, right? Then the other question goes like, okay, where do I want to work? If I want to work on Silicon Valley, example, I go there, see the jobs that are available, and see what stacks they're asking. If they're asking for Vue, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, then I'm going to learn that because I want to move there, right? If the majority of the jobs are asking for that, then that means that there's a lot of demand. Example, if I go to New York and let's say I do research and I see C# as the main language that they want, then I'm going to learn C# and .NET framework because that's what I want, right? So just ask yourself, what do I like building? Do a lot of Googling, try some tutorials of the type of that language and see if you like building on that, because the last thing you want to do is learn the language that you don't like and just learn it because there's a lot of demand, right? And yes, I know I said that before, however, it also depends on your judgment. Like, okay, there's a lot of demand in C# in New York, I want to move there, but I don't like working in C#. I like working in JavaScript and Vue, right? I fell in love with that stack. Then, okay, then you have to be the bigger person. You have to say, okay, I'm going to learn this, and no matter what, I want to go live and work in this stack in New York, and just do it, okay? So there's 2 options. At the end of the day, you're going to be the person who's going to decide, but you have to navigate those waters by yourself. That's a question you have to ask yourself. And once you choose something, you have to go and finish it, right? If you choose you want to do the Vue in New York, then you have to go and finish it and actually get a job there. The last question I asked myself before starting to learn how to code is why? Why do I want to do this? Do I want to do this because of the money? Do I want to do this because I want to build my own startup? Do I want to do this because I want to build my own freelance business? Or do I just want to do it because I'm curious, right? There's nothing wrong with any of those options. You just have to be true to yourself. Why do you want to learn this? If you want to learn this because of the money, that's totally okay. This is life-changing money. This career is amazing. I love this career, right? I just started like three months ago, and I completely love this career. So if you want to do it for the money, just because of that, then that's fine. Just be aware that a person you're competing with is a person like me that loves this, and it's okay coding 8-10 hours a day, and if you're doing just for the money, then after you're done with your job, you're not going to code anymore, right? So who's going to win at the end? Me, who I code 5 extra hours after I'm done working, or a person who just does it for the money, and after 5 o'clock they close their laptop, they don't want to see code again? Who do you think is going to go ahead? Now, there is a possibility that you fall in love with the process after you get the job. That's also cool. That's fine. But if you truly love this, then either way, you're going to be fine. However, if you do it for the money and you get a job and you think you don't like it, then just ask yourself in this phase, what else can I do for money that I'm actually going to love? Because the last thing you want to do is do something for the money, go through an entire process, get a job, and actually do not love your job. Because trust me, I've been there. It's terrible. You don't want to do something just because of the money, and going to work on that job just because of the money is the worst thing ever, right? Your job is 70% of your life, 70-80% of your life. You have to choose something that you truly love so you can do it for decades, right? Decades. And you have to ask yourself that question. Motivation to build your own startup, just be aware that, just ask yourself, will that motivation get me through the barrier when I'm stuck, right? Will that propel me to actually be there, learn what I have to do so I can pass through, because I just want to build my own startup? Why just, instead of you trying to build your own startup, you hire somebody else to build your startup, or you partner with somebody else who already does this for a living, who loves actually doing this, and just do it faster, right? There's a lot of different avenues you can take if you want to build your own startup. Just ask yourself these questions, and if you truly want to learn this, that's really fine. Just make sure you're doing this for the right reasons, not for the wrong reasons, because the last thing you want to do is be stuck in the middle of something when you don't want to do it anymore, and you just wasted all this time trying to do something right. Of course, you didn't waste it in a sense, because you learned that this is not for you, and that's totally fine. However, you can never take that time back. Think 1, 2, 3 steps ahead, so that doesn't happen to you, because the last thing you want to do is waste time, because time is the only thing we don't have, right? We can make money back, we can make everything back, but time we cannot make back. That's it. That's my 3 questions I asked myself before I started learning how to code. If you ask yourself these questions and you got a positive feedback, you think you're gonna do it, just go for it. The worst thing that can happen is you're gonna learn something, right? But just be true to yourself if you actually want to do this for the right reasons, because that's gonna help you in the long run. If you have any questions, my information is in the description below. Also, if you want to deploy an application not using Heroku, there's a video somewhere around here about that topic that I made. It's pretty good. Just go follow it. It's pretty easy to do. And yeah, see you next one. Bye.